Thanks for joining us in the garden today. We are here with Craig from Grange Co-op, and we are talking about planting annuals. So we have a bunch of different flowers in front of us, but there are some things that people need to know before they get this going for their garden, like where to plant it to begin with.
Yeah, when people come into our nurseries, I think if you come in spring, if you come in now, you're going to find just a huge, wide variety of flowers. And it can be overwhelming at times. There's going to be aisles and aisles of different types. And what people don't know is there's primarily two different types of annuals. So annuals meaning that you plant them annually. They last 1 year. You plant them again the next year. There's going to be ones that we call bedding annuals, and those are ones typically that are going to come in a 6-pack. And those are primarily designed to plant in the ground, to do a mass planting. You're going to get quite a few of them. Maybe you're going to buy a whole flat, and you're going to do a mass planting out. You're going to do a bunch of them. Each individual plant is not going to be really big. It's not going to get really large, but you're relying on having quite a few of those. And again, those are generally what we would want to be planting in the ground. Then what we have is more premium annuals. And those are ones that you're going to do in a hanging basket. You're going to do those in a patio pot. You're going to do those maybe in a rail planter or some area where each individual plant needs to be the best it can be. So instead of relying on planting a bunch of them, you plant one plant. That plant will get big. It will keep blooming throughout the season. And that's really the big difference. It's really important that you kind of know which kind of annual you're buying and what you're going to be doing with it. If you want it in a pot, if you want to do it in a hanging basket, really important to kind of pick the right ingredients to make a good basket.
So you said that these ones are something that we would want to go in the ground.
Yeah, so things like most of your pansies, or we've got some alyssum, things like this, they're going to kind of give you a little bit of height, but they're not going to really spread out. They're not going to trail. They're not going to get really big. Each individual plant's going to kind of, generally all of them are different as far as how big they're going to get, the different types, but they're not made to each individual plant to fill a large spot. Whereas you might have a hanging basket that gets, 2-3 feet long. You might only have 3 plants in that whole thing that's doing all of that work. So it's important that you're making sure that when you're planting those up, you're picking the right ones to be able to do and get that really impressive show at the end of the year.
What's worst case scenario if you were to plant them in the wrong, home?
It's just not going to do for you what you want. So if you put a bedding annual in a hanging basket, it's going to look fine from the top. The problem is you don't look at hanging baskets generally from the top. You look at them from the side and from underneath. So they're not going to trail over and give you color. All you're going to see is the bottom of a basket. Whereas if you plant, say, a premium annual in the ground, they can do really good in the ground. They'll spread out nicely, but if you were to plant them as close as you were bedding annuals, it's just too much. They don't need that. And truthfully, a premium annual is kind of what it sounds like. They also do cost more money because they do get bigger and they are more impressive. So you don't need to put them in the ground. Use them for kind of where the best use of your money is to use them where you really need a really strong individual plant to give you tons of color throughout the season. So
kind of getting the most bang for your buck. How will people know when they head into Grange Co-op?
Yeah, so ours are going to be separated. So we will have one area that is just the bedding. Like I said, generally it's going to be 6-packs where we're going to have the more bedding stuff that's going to be in the ground for in-ground plantings. And then we'll generally have another spot. Maybe it's a completely different aisle, depends on what store it is. But generally they're going to be separated. So you'll be able to tell that these are the premium annuals, and it will say that on the sign. It'll say premium annuals versus your regular pansies or bedding petunias, that kind of thing.
Okay, if there's anything to take away from in the garden, go into Grange Co-op. They'll help you with all your needs. And if you would like to learn more about planting annuals, you can head to our website, KDRV.com. We'll see you next time in the garden.